right, what's up, man? Thanks for
Hey,
joining me.
thank you. How you doing today?
Good, good. It's nice to see you again. So I guess for people that don't know who you are, you have the Kings. You own King John, the Kings, now King Cat.
And King Puff.
Oh, I can't forget King Puff.
Yeah,
And yeah, just tell people who you are, what you do.
Sure.
And
So my name's Jared. I say we like these like it's us, okay? But I'm not crazy at all. I just have multiple voices in my head. We're bringing Entertainment Time Theater is the company, and we're bringing a new type of stagecraft, which we've dubbed Roboloquism, which is similar to ventriloquism. And that is the interaction of humans with animatronics. Interacting together in parody music.
Hello, I'm King John.
No, it's not your time yet, man.
Oh, bloody.
Jeez.
I thought that was my camera.
No.
Who are you talking to?
Travis.
Travis?
Yes, Travis.
Oh, yes, the fellow who was filming
Yes.
me the other day.
I am
yes?
so sorry.
Hi, Travis.
Yes, he. Okay.
I can see you.
Okay.
what's up, buddy?
And your soul.
Whoa!
What?
Whoa!
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing
okay.
at all.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that. So, like I said, we are bringing, a different type of interaction that you would normally see in a ventriloquist, but this is animated animatronic cyberamic, and of course the king was originally from Chuck E. Cheese. He was the only abandoned character that they just completely abandoned. So I took up that feat to bring him back, and now not only are they brought back, but it's times probably 8 by now, all the characters. So
Yeah, so for people that don't know, you basically love the Kings as a child.
yeah,
And
as a
then you-
kid, I used to love the king, and then they took him out of Chuck E. Cheese, and that kind of freaked me out. And so then, years went by, and high school, went through military high school, and then the Navy. And throughout that time in 1998, when eBay came out, I put out when they came out with their saved searches, I put out a saved search for the king, and I found one in 2005 or 2000. No, yeah, 2005, I believe it was. Sorry, I've been working all day. But then I spoke with the owner for 9 long years.
Wow.
And finally convinced him to sell me a broken king that he had for $10,000. And then I restored it and then started doing parody music and then parodies and decided to take it to the next level. And in that aspect of taking it to the next level, is where we came up with Roboloquism. I figured I've never seen an animatronic interacting with a human, so why not?
Right.
And people loved it. It got on the Tampa Bay Times and Vice News and so many outlets out there. And I'm really appreciative that everybody loves it. So
Yeah, man, that's pretty wild. So you basically write music or parodies of music or found music, and you've now put those all up on your YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, and I mean, I think they're pretty awesome.
Too many
Yeah.
social platforms. And
Yeah.
it's a one-man show. I think your video showed a little bit of the intricate work, and it's and you saw when you were over here how it's a animation, and with any animation, it takes time.
Yeah, I was so shocked that like 4 minutes is like a week worth of work.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's because I am working a full-time job, and then coming home to do this, and doing it consistently, and that's why it takes about a week. I'd be able to push it out probably in about half of that time if
But still, man, it's like
Yeah.
so like you I mean, even in the video that we made, you really don't see how much time and effort it takes because I mean, I didn't put it in the video, but I'm like, you have to hit a button, and then that turns on the light, and then you have to wait for the whole thing to go through. If it's 4 minutes, you got to wait 4 minutes, and then you hit another button, and then you got to make their mouths move. You got to do the voices. You got to do. I mean, it's insane. I didn't realize that.
But the cool thing is that, you know, I listen to the parodies that I make, and you know, I literally have to listen to them like.
Look at my
okay.
new
Jeez,
ring.
not
Show
again.
iWonder TV my
No,
new ring.
no,
Look at
stop,
my ring.
stop.
Look at my ring.
Jeez,
Look
I
at
am
my ring.
sorry. Stop, okay?
You don't have to
Stop.
raise your voice
I'm
to
not-
me, yes?
Oh,
I'm right
jeez.
here.
I'm so sorry. Okay, now he's upset. But anyway,
Oh, boy.
that I can't control any of that. Or do I?
Dun, dun, dun.
So anyway, before I was rudely interrupted, yes, it's great. It's fun. It's fun stuff to do, and you know, it is catching headway. It's work. It's not easy. They're not. You don't. A lot of people see the end result, and so you know, you just want to, you know, think that you could just turn them on and they start moving and talking, and that's quite the opposite.
Yeah, man, that's pretty cool. So, I mean, so you bought them, you had a fascination as a child, and then now, like, you know, all these years later, you've spent ungodly amount more money, and now you have like a whole show. I mean, like, what's the motivation, man? Just because it's like a creative outlet and it's so fun to see them like once it's all done?
Oh, of course. It's definitely fun to see them when it's all done and all that. But more so, I took it to the next level when I got Puff. I started talking to attorneys and pulling the business license and all that not so fun stuff, because I figured if I'm going to put tens, 20s, you know, whatever you call it, of thousands of dollars, right now I'm, without going into detail, let's just say it's above $80K of the investment. I don't owe it, but hey, I've invested it. And I'm investing it for a reason, because it is something new, something different, something unique that really is fun to look at. And because if I'm going to invest in something, I need, obviously, to get a return. And really, my return is people's enjoyment and, of course, hopefully the ability to do it full time in the coming future.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, I could see that when I was there. Like it's kind of surreal. I mean, I do remember them as a child,
Right.
but I didn't.
Sorry.
I never saw the king. I don't think I saw like the whole group. You know, my parents really never took me to Chuck E. Cheese that often, anyway. So like,
Well, you know, and I never really was a big fan. You know, I'm not. You know, I know that might. You know, I like the king. The king was the only animatronic that had a natural movement to him. So I was in the Pizza Time Theater days. That's the Chuck E. Cheese I knew. And then, of course, once that Chuck E. Cheese went bankrupt and changed to showbiz, it completely was different. And so, you know, I wasn't interested. But I was always interested in the king, and to a degree to where I would have dreams, you know, of acquiring a king. And it's so crazy how all that came true. I mean, the king's creator, Jewel Kamen, I got to video chat with her a few times, and
oh, nice.
And she's awesome, and she loves what we're doing and what I'm doing, and that was enough for me to take it to that next level and continue creating.
Yeah. So what was it like getting your first king? Were you hooked at that point?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, no.
Did
I
you
was
find
like,
one in like a garbage?
I was
or
like, what the
something?
hell did you do, Jared? You just spent $10,000. You just bought a huge home that you could have used that $10,000 towards, which, trust me, it was. I've put more than I've put into the king into my house. But yeah, so I was kind of I was kind of like, what the heck are you doing? But I knew I loved the king, and so that's what it all started. And then in 2017, we started going, I started kind of doing the voices and
Yeah, talk about that a little
and
bit.
taking singing lessons and vocal coaching. And I've always been able to impersonate different people. When I was a kid, I do my Ross Perot voice, and I do. Growing up with Clinton, I'll tell you what. And then well, let me ask Nancy with Reagan. So I always was. I love that. I love comedy. I love joking. And so it really wraps everything that I love, which is childhood. Yes, it was the king, and music, and the voice. All of that just wrapped together in one package. Is really enjoying for people to watch. And
So talk about the voices. Like, how did you figure out how to come up with like King John or King Puff or the King? Like,
it was crazy. So the voices, I don't know how King's voice turned out, like why it's like that now, but it started off with just my regular voice and then me dropping the pitch dramatically. And you'll see that in the old videos that it doesn't sound anything like the king now. And then it escalated to, okay, jeez, what? Okay, what? What? Whoa, what?
I've got to go to the loo.
Oh, jeez.
Ah, yes. Poor chap lives in a bubble.
What's the loo?
The bathroom, the potty, the
Whoa.
Do you get it now?
Yes, I get it. Okay. Not that language. Not right now.
he's going
Hey.
off.
Well, he was about to say something inappropriate. So anyway, where were we before we got rudely interrupted again? So the voices. So when I went to go get Puff, King Puff, it's funny how the voice came to me. I imagined it, and then I'll just turn into a big old Southern guy, and then so that was Puff. He was a little rough, he's a little rough around the edges. And then when John, the owner of King John and King 4, he gave me, it was surreal to get two of these. These things back in the 80s cost well into like, I believe it was $25,000 a piece.
Wow.
For a store to be able to own one.
I mean, they're pure metal. They're giant pieces of metal.
The voice when John gave me King John and King 4, and that's a whole nother story. There's so many stories to this subject, but the good thing is that the press really touched on those beginning stories, so everybody can find those just by Googling. And but now what the focus is of course humans and animatronics interacting together.
Right.
And the show itself. And
so how did you find King John?
So with King John, a guy emailed me, and I'm sorry I had to turn him off because he just won't stop if I don't. So a guy emailed me, said that he has a king in storage, and I had just gotten King Puff, and that was like $4,500. And I'm like, I don't need any more robots. Okay.
Right.
And this is before I was, I was already thinking, okay, maybe you're going to turn this into a business, Jared. Maybe you're going to, keep going. And I figured you might as well. But then this guy said, his name's John. That's where King John's name actually came from.
Oh, from the guy?
From the guy, yeah, John, and he said, I called him and I said, look, man, I'm not, that's great and all. You got a king. I do not have the income
I'm broke, baby.
to keep on doing that. See, this is his. Let me just turn that audio off because he's sleeping. Hold on. You can tell they snore. They do. They
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Even though he's off, he's still talking, huh?
Yeah, he's sleeping. So anyway, his audio's off. So that's a good thing about animatronics is, you just so anyway, he said, well, I have this. He's in Texas. And I talked to him on the phone. I said, look, I don't have the income to. He says, Jared, I've been watching you for a year. I guess he was watching my channel for a whole year, which was, those are the learning days.
Right.
And he says, I think you really have something going, and you get a couple of friends of yours and meet me at the airport next Saturday. If you pick me up, we'll go get a truck, and you help me because he had some other stuff in that. Basically, it was a giant
Storage locker?
storage unit. Yeah, storage unit facility. So he says, you help me clear that out, and then you can have it. And I'm like, my jaw dropped. I'm like, what? What? Are you serious? And he's like, I'm dead serious. So I was like, okay, I'll take next Saturday off. And we went and picked him up, a few friends of mine, and then he tells me, and it was like, this is like a dream come true if you consider, how much I've spent already on the Kings.
Yeah, you're
and how long. Yeah, this was a total dream come true, literally a dream that I've had. And he says, oh, by the way, the storage unit hasn't been open since 1987. It was all put in there in 1983. He didn't know what was in there. He just knows that his parents, during an auction, got a king. And I guess also another character named Artie Antlers, which is never seen to this day. Well, in 1987, I guess the storage unit was broken into, and they stole Artie. So
Artie.
Yeah, Artie Antlers. So then, so the back of Artie's head was there, which I try to appease the fandom, and that's a really important artifact to the fandom, the Chuck E. Cheese fandom. Everybody has a fandom. So I went ahead and let that go into the fandom, and because it really didn't, it was just the back of the head of Artie, which is something cool, So when we opened it up, and I saw one king, but then going more into it, and you could see that in the videos, it landed up that there was 2 full-size kings in there.
Wow.
One was just really broken, and that was 4. And I literally named him King 4, like in the video of me finding him.
Wow.
So yeah, it was pretty crazy. So yeah, that's how it happened.
So what's up with people thinking these things are gonna eat you or something? Like,
Five
why do
Nights
people?
at Freddy's did a great job at that. I love horror movies. I grew up with horror movies. I find it funny.
Yeah.
I grew up with Friday the 13th. Was a huge fan, and but of course, kids today or a few years ago had Five Nights at Freddy's, and that's pretty cool. I have no problem with Five Nights
And they
at Freddy's.
eat people in the video.
I guess it's like the evil animatronics will come alive. And,
I mean, I think you should do an Airbnb.
I can understand the come
where,
alive part. What?
I think you should do an Airbnb where people can come and sleep in.
No. No, what we are, and that's another thing too, is we get people that we want to come see the Kings. So when I was when that opportunity and me and the Volo Museum started talking, I saw opportunity there. Yes.
Oh, that's where they can go see him.
That's where they can go see him.
Yeah.
A production, what I like to describe is you can't always go visit an actor, right? Like, especially an actor on television or an actor in a series. It's not like you get to go see him. Maybe you see him at Comic-Con. Maybe you see him at events like that. And that's what the Kings are really is they're actors, so it isn't. They're not a sideshow anymore. So
Right.
they're not going to be in a restaurant. My plans is exactly what we're doing now with the YouTube, and then possibly in the future bringing it to a larger production. If a larger production company comes up and we have a good deal, then the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool that the Volvo Museum is doing that, though. Like, because people do want to see them. I mean, in every one of the videos we've done, or maybe the videos you've done, people are like, "Hey, I want to see these things," So
Exactly.
I mean, they are kind of crazy and intimidating, a little bit, but like,
just a little.
no, I mean, I could see why people think like, oh, they're gonna eat you or something. I mean, they are like 9 feet tall.
Yeah, I've never been. I was always mesmerized by that more than afraid. And it's the fluid movement, the natural movement that they have. It's unlike any animatronic I've seen, including the Disney sophisticated animatronics. They still look like robots.
Right.
These guys with the air compression and everything look like actual cartoon characters come to life.
Right.
Which is
really like for
cool.
people that don't know, like these things are run on huge air compressors. Like you have 4 or 5 of them in the back room there.
Oh yeah. There's they're pneumatics, so it's run by air cylinders and pressure. And so you have to have a whole nother room for the compressors, and it is a lot of upkeep, as far as making sure the compressor's clean. I mean, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that people don't see, especially these guys are from the 80s, right? So you could imagine
still working.
You could imagine how many cylinders I had to replace.
Yeah.
And those cylinders aren't cheap, and neither are the solenoids that, it's not just a cylinder. You have to have a solenoid bank, and that solenoid opens and closes, and, of course, those are the most expensive parts. And, so I had to literally redo them. King John, they never really had a King John. They never had King Puff and John and Four. Those are all Entertainment Time Theater characters. They never had a character for the king. It never had a backstory. It was just like, here you go, it looks like Elvis, and listen to Elvis music.
Hell yeah.
So, and that was fine, but I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting, create a backstory, and that's what you see here today.
So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the appeal. I feel like you come up with all these different songs. You come up with, So how do you like? How come you don't do like I keep telling you do a heavy metal song. Like let's do a heavy metal song.
Well, how
some
much
Slayer,
vocals,
some
how many
Mudvayne or
vocals
something.
are in heavy metal?
Well, there's a lot. You just gotta,
Well, okay, yeah. Well, screaming.
okay, maybe Metallica. How about Metallica?
I would do Orion, but that has no lyrics. I love Orion. That's like my favorite Metallica
So
song.
how do you choose the music? I mean, whatever appeals to you.
Yes. What appeals to me, and of course I did Old Town Road. I didn't think that was going to appeal to me, but it needs to have a good rhythm. Like Johnny Cash said, you got to have rhythm. And if I hear good rhythm in the song, whether it's I've put out new songs, new song parodies. I've put out oldies. I've put out country. Just and mostly rock. And people get a kick out of that. What I try to do is a song that everybody is going to recognize, obviously,
Right.
and then create a parody out of that, which means rewriting all the lyrics, redoing the instrumental, and of course, if I had the money, I would compose my own music, because I would have the money to afford to pay a composer to do. So that's why we do parodies right now. That doesn't mean in the future, as this becomes more popular And as the income becomes more in the green, then yes, absolutely, composing a brand new skit as opposed to just doing a parody.
Yeah, but parodies are fun, man. It's like the Weird
Sure.
Al kind of thing, you know?
Oh yeah, it pokes
It's-
fun at the original song, like the King Robot, which is the next skit that's coming out with King 4. It's Pancake Robot is the original song, and that's by Perry Grip. And I love Perry Grip's music, and so it's fun, and I
So
try
how
to
do you
stick
come
with
up
stuff
with
that's
like the
fun.
lyrics and stuff, man? I mean, that
Honestly,
would take me forever.
honestly, it just comes to me. Like,
Really?
remember when you were here and you said, I was like, okay, let me figure out the show, like the talking back and forth. I have to be sitting in my element. I actually look at the Kings, even though they're not moving, I'll look at them and I'll imagine the skit. And that's where I get my best jokes. That's where I get all those ideas. Is kind of just staring at them while they're not moving, but in my head I'm creating it, and then it goes to the keyboard, then it goes to the Word document, and then I have to start singing it. And because I do all kinds of genres, I mean, you got to consider. I'm doing multiple genres of music in multiple voices.
Yeah, it's crazy. Man.
So there was a lot of learning curve there, and there still is at some points. But it's all gotten easier and more fluid. Definitely.
The more you do it, the more you'll be.
Yep. The more you
practice makes perfect.
That's right.
So you said you're gonna get a vocal coach or someone to come by? Like what was
so I've already had vocal coaches in the past, and from time to time I'll have one if I'm trying to hit a certain note that I'm just not getting. I have a guy that he's actually practiced. He was taught in Los Angeles, so he's really good. He's helped me before, so I'm trying to get to a certain high note. And it's a little weird for a vocal coach to come in. You're like, okay, but at least now that they know me, that's like, okay, cool. They know what's going on.
You gotta record that.
And it is very different, because he's taught me a lot on how to control the tone, how to control the pitch. Even though some of it's modulated. Obviously, King 4 is modulated. You have to, because he has to sound like a robot.
Right.
And he sounds like a pretty emo robot, just kind of dry.
Hey, if you do if you do Metallica or something, you don't have to do high pitches.
He keeps pressing
scream,
for
man.
this Metallica stuff. Well, I tell you what, the owner of the Volo Museum is a big fan of what's that guy's name? Sweet Dreams Are Made of These.
Oh, Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson.
There
yeah,
you
Marilyn
go.
So you never know. We might entertain a Marilyn Manson.
There you go. That would be great. I swear to God, people would love that. I swear to God. It's
Now,
so off. It's so off of what you normally do.
Right. So, and that's another thing too, is building the base, right? As you know from having a YouTube channel for years, that base, you've got to be consistent in that base.
Yeah, so how's the YouTube channel like? Are people really enjoying this or
Oh, that my just the interaction alone is huge on my channel.
That's awesome.
Ton of, I think that video preview that I put of your video, I think there's already like 90 comments on that.
Wow.
So, the people, they really love it. And that takes me interacting as well. I'll respond to a few comments here and there. I'll surprise fans, which I've done multiple times in the past. I'll make their day, and I love
so
that.
like are they all sort of in the same boat as you where they grew up with seeing the Kings?
No.
No,
No.
or some
And
people might have just saw it and they're like, "Wow, this is cool."
Yeah, so the cool thing is yes, I do have a part of the base that remembers the king and they love the content, but I also have a good majority of them that are just discovering the king.
Right. That's kind of how
And-
what happened to me, man. I saw that article in Tampa Bay Times.
Right.
And I was like,
right.
dude, this is crazy. And then I saw like one of your early videos, and that's kind of how we I emailed you, and then we kind of met that way. But like, I really didn't remember them as a child, like I said, but I
Sure,
just
yeah.
thought they're cool,
Oh yeah, yeah. Hey, if it captivated me as a kid, all those I even as a kid, I used to imagine it doing more in my head. So imagine years and years and years go by.
Yeah.
Well, I'm collecting all that thought in my head, and then finally, when I got the king working, I got to unleash all those ideas.
Right.
And that really brought it more interesting in today's, especially for today's people. I mean, my base is mainly probably mid-20s, probably 17 to mid-20s. It can go as low as 13. The channel is suggested for 13 and up, just because even though we're family friendly, I like to joke, and we don't do any cuss words. I mean, he has a problem with his mouth, but I invented this device, and I'll show you. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
So this device I invented is called the APD. It's the Anti-Profanity Device. So as long as I plug this into 4,
Oh, then he doesn't swear.
then he'll swear, but at least it'll beep him out.
I think you should just let him swear. Yeah.
No, I want to keep it family oriented, PG-13.
Yeah, but remember
I-
PG-13 when we were kids, man. This kind of pisses me off about today. It's like,
yeah.
when I watched action movies, I saw tits and I saw someone dying, pretty much.
Well, we're
Like,
not gonna show those.
But dude, like, it's totally changed now. Like when we watch an action movie now, it's like CG
Yeah.
crazy shit. It's like it's not even like Mad Max or something, or
Well,
RoboCop or Rambo.
Exactly. What people see today, man, is it's a lot less innocent than it used to be. As far as they're exposed. Kids are exposed to all kinds of things.
Yeah, but like that's not through movies. That's through just having the internet in general.
Exactly, the internet.
Yeah, but I mean,
I feel that
it just makes me mad when you watch action movies now. I'm like, I want to see some tits and some violence, man.
Well, the thing is I feel that you can have an entertaining, you can really entertain people without the need to swear, without the need to show. That's just how I feel. I feel that there is an ability. Yes, you can. A lot of these stand-up, comedians. They'll swear, they'll use cuss words, and that gets people's attention, and interest.
Or it makes your point. It gets your point
Right,
across.
and that's great for them, and there's many, Robin Williams, all these other comedians, even Ellen, all these people, started off with just stand up and catching people's attention. But I believe that you don't have to have all that to be entertaining. You can have great comedy, more like Looney Tunes, for this type of environment.
For sure, like you don't need the kings running around saying swear words all the time.
Exactly.
I get it.
Exactly.
But I'm just, for me, like just how things have changed. If you're going from 80s to now, it's like, what
Sure.
in the hell happened?
Yeah, it was. Definitely
Everybody's kind of
different.
like sissies or something, man. It's just like,
yeah. It's just different, It's moving with the times. Times will change. The cool thing is I can create, like I said in your first video, I can create that 80s vibe, and I can bring it to life.
yeah, that's awesome.
And people love it. I love lights, obviously. I have enough to, like, probably put on the Empire State Building
Yeah.
at least, once around.
Well, that's the funny thing when I'm doing videos in there. I'm like, I never know if it's going to be bright or dark. It's just like, right when those things start going, I'm like, dang, I got to, tone it down a little bit.
Yeah. And I've learned all this. I knew nothing about pneumatics.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I knew nothing about lighting. But once I learn something and I find interest in it, that's the key, is having interest in something.
100%.
And then I'll take it right up to the top. And I've done, this isn't my first venture. I used to rebuild arcade units and make it into what's called MAME, which is emulators. And I'd gut the cabinet and install the buttons, the interfaces to the keyboard, and I would sell those for thousands of dollars, and I found fun in it,
Right.
And then I also created optical management software, so I taught myself to learn code, SQL Server and VB and VBA and all
Whatever
that.
that means, I have no idea, man.
Books this thick, man.
You're above my head right now.
You got to read about 3 books that thick about, God, I don't even know how many times.
C++.
Yeah, C++, No, but no, because I found interest in creating a software that it was touchscreen and nobody has ever seen before, and I did that with OptiManager.
That's probably why you're so good with these guys.
Yeah, well, exactly. You learn, and and I learned a lot from that. And then, so when it came to cylinders and programming, it wasn't as I wasn't as
you weren't afraid.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if you're not doing something that you enjoy, then what's the point of doing it? I mean, look,
and that's 100%. And any
whether it's super successful or not, as long as you're happy and you're doing what you love, then keep doing it, man. Because not many people can actually do that in life.
But and yes, I agree. I shoot for success, though. I gotta tell you,
yeah. I mean,
even
but
if you're not successful,
you have to define
what
is success to you monetary or is success to you
success is to me
happiness.
Well, with success comes a monetary value. That's definite.
Maybe some people die and then they get success monetary.
Yeah, and that may happen too. Who knows? But no, for me, it's seeing the end result and the effect.
Yeah, that's why I love doing what I do, man. I love meeting people like you, and then seeing a video that people like. I never knew a dude made had these kings in his house. There's so many interesting people out there, and
it's really great to be the cause, because then you see the effect, right?
Right.
So, and I love that effect. I love seeing it. For one, I watch my videos, especially in the beginning. I would watch my videos over and over, and I had a fan comment today, and he says, "Hey, Jared, just so you know, I still listen to the Showtape 5 songs all the time. I know they're older, but I love hearing them." And that really makes, especially because back then it wasn't that great, right? Like I knew I couldn't sing that well. I knew I couldn't carry a tune, but I still, out of the passion, I guess it sounded all right. And now going back and listening to it, I'm like, oh yeah, I could have done a lot better. But you learn. I love the idea from Chuck E. Cheese. I love the idea of the king, but I wanted to bring it into today's more modern age and modernize it, because it's in order to have something to where people are interested in. You can't put out a black and white movie and expect a lot of interest, right? So what I did was I colorized basically.
A lot of colors.
And modernized all of their stuff, and even down to his paws now. He has little claws on his paws, which I just added that. I didn't have it in your video because I didn't think of it yet. But I said, you know what? Let me screen print some claws, and then we got noses, that are new. That I invested in
that's awesome.
a 3D printer. So you've seen King Cat's sunglasses. I designed those and made a 3D file of it, and now they're all gonna have sunglasses. So
are you gonna do any more videos with King Cat?
I'm probably gonna come out with the show tape of just the Michael Jackson. I don't voice King Cat. We paid a voice actor to do the Michael Jackson because I mean, the Michael Jackson I can do is more of the South Park Michael Jackson, which
What's it sound like? Let me hear.
Yeah, stop. No, let's go climb a tree. Let's go climb a tree. I'm not a big well, not to get into the aspect, but King Cat, I kind of had an issue with. Well, that's because I saw the documentary. But
with Michael Jackson.
yeah. So,
but dude, I tell you, man, when that song was playing, I'm like, this song's amazing. I love it.
But his music was good, right? And that's what I'm concentrating on, the music, and that's what he's the Volo Kings. I'll be voicing King Elvis. But the Volo Museum is a museum, right? So they're gonna play to the original artist tracks. Because that's what makes the YouTube channel so unique, is that we do those parodies. And that's kind of the entertainment online.
Right.
And then people can go see them, and it'll still be my voice in the intro, outros, and as the announcer. And then the Michael Jackson guy that we have, he did a really good job. We had to go through a few people to get the right one, but we found the right one, and he did a really good job. So so everything's all prepared, and hopefully we can have a grand opening. We were talking about where, you never know, I might be able to go down there and a few other people and do a meet and greet. You're already in Chicago, so
that's right. I'll just drive on over, man.
Yeah, exactly. I can crash on your couch.
Go ahead. Yeah, I have a 4-year-old kid that'll be poking you. So.
We'll do King John. Well, I'll bring King John with me. No, I don't think they allow him on planes anymore. That's another story.
He probably smokes too many cigarettes.
No, King John doesn't smoke. He has a lot of air in his head, though.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, hey man, we tell people how to get to your YouTube channel and all that stuff.
So of course, it's really easy. All you have to do is type in the King Robot, or even better, go to thekingrobot.com. There, you'll see a list of our platforms, and we're on Spotify, Apple Music, all that. As far as our music goes, we're slowly but surely getting the music on there. Everything has to be approved, and all the copyrights and all that. But then also the YouTube channel, which it's super easy. Just go to Google and type the King Robot, and you'll see our Instagram and our TikTok. I think we're at 185,000 now on TikTok. A lot of great fans. A lot of Five Nights at Freddy's fans. Which, hey, that's fine by me. I love that horror comedy. I get into that. So.
Yeah, let's hope TikTok stays around here.
Yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. I mean, what do we got?
Today the last day?
4 more days.
Really? 4? Is that what it is?
According to that, according to what was said. But whatever. I think it's a great platform, and
hell yeah,
I'm
I find
actually
myself
interested in
flicking.
it. I gotta be honest. Facebook, yeah, for a period of time, Facebook was the thing, right? But I never got into Instagram. I don't know why. I never got into it.
Facebook is so toxic now, and not only that,
right.
like the algorithm is just jacked. Like,
oh yeah,
you got to pay to promote everything.
Well, and even if you pay to promote stuff, which I've done promos to get the word out there. for the king. I think Facebook's ads go like directly to like I don't know, Istanbul or something.
Well, I mean, if you, yeah, of course, but you could select like you want United States. I mean, I think their marketing's brilliant, but at the same time, it's I feel like they want you to promote everything you do.
Even when I did select the United States, I don't know. It was a little.
You didn't know
fishy.
who those people were.
Yeah, it was a little fishy, you know, because I can tell organic, or an organic reach versus like a bot reach. Like for me, numbers don't matter. For me, I want to know that it's organic, right? Because I'm actually growing a business. This isn't my subscribers and the numbers of the subscribers. They're nothing, or followers are nothing if they're like
It's
a
fake.
bunch of mannequins, right?
No, I got you.
There's no
Yeah.
point. So
Yeah, you want an interaction and
yep, that's where
have
you're
a
going to get that high
community
interaction, and there's already, you know, that's why I wasn't too much of a fan of Instagram. But then again, Instagram is Facebook, right?
Yeah.
So when I actually got onto TikTok, I got interested in just watching this stuff. Hey, I don't have a lot of time, right? So, but I could get like a quick laugh.
Oh yeah.
And so I really do like TikTok. I think it's really cool. It's a great avenue to bring my content out. Because I can put a quick joke in there and people go nuts over it, which is awesome.
Yeah, I found so many cool people on there doing interesting things. I mean, it's like I never would have probably found them otherwise.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're gonna keep going with this, and the sky's the limit. You know.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
thank you, King John, for participating.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to cut him off. He was interrupting us way too much.
Yeah,
but
it's past his bedtime. He's sleeping.
That's King John's style, yes?
That's right.
All right,
All right,
Travis.
buddy.
It was nice talking to you again, and we hope to see you here, back here.
Yeah, man. I'll be back. You just let me
sometime
know.
in the
I'll be there.
future. Or maybe I'll be coming to your neck of the woods. So.
Yeah, come to Chicago, man. A lot of food and booze here. So.
Oh, yeah. I moved here from Chicago, so I love Chicago.
Okay.
All
That's
right,
awesome, man.
Take care.
See you, bud.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.